Hey blues fans, you found us. We're glad you did. Time for another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Loco Motives. We're just trying to keep the blues alive, one post, one song at a time. So let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history.
Blues guitar player Buddy Henderson, better known as Bugs Henderson, was born on October 20th, 1943. He was popular in Europe, and from the 1970s, he was based in Dallas-Fort Worth, where he was known as a local guitar legend. Now, Henderson got his first guitar, a Montgomery Ward Airline, one year at Christmas when he was just 6 years old. Henderson played with blues musicians such as B.B. King, Eric Clapton, Muddy Waters, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, as well as rhythm and blues saxophone player Don Wise and rock guitar player Ted Nugent. R&B guitar legend Steve Cropper was born October 21st in 1941. Sometimes known as the Colonel, he was the guitar player of the Stax Records house band Booker T and the MGs, which backed artists like Otis Redding, Carla Thomas, Rufus Thomas, and Johnny Taylor. He also acted as a producer of many of these records. He was later a member of the Blues Brothers Band. Rolling Stone magazine ranked him 39th on its list of 100 greatest guitar players of all time. Dr. Ross the Harmonica Boss was born October 21st in 1925 in Tunica, Mississippi. Ross's blues style has been compared to that of John Lee Hooker. Within the lyrics of The Boogie Disease, Ross notably sang, "I may get better, but I'll never get well." In the early 1950s, Ross's records began to get airplay in Mississippi and Arkansas. Blues guitar player Elvin Bishop was born October 21st, 1942 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, he first came to prominence alongside fellow Blues Hall of Fame guitarist Michael Bloomfield as a member of the influential Paul Butterfield Blues Band in the 1960s. Since then, he has carved his own niche, both as a hit-making roadhouse rocker and as a multiple Blues Music Awards recipient. He grew up on an Iowa farm and in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And his persona and music reflect his rural roots, his wit and humor, and an appreciation of a wide range of sounds, including blues, rock, soul, gospel, and country. Chicago blues guitar player L.C. McKinley was born October 22nd in 1918. He worked with Eddie Boyd and Ernest Cotton, and his major output was as a session musician on recordings made mostly in the 1950s. He also released a number of singles on various record labels. His best-known tracks include Weeping Willow Blues and Nitwit. His guitar playing was influenced by T-Bone Walker, and when you listen to him, you'll hear it. Blues and boogie-woogie piano player and singer Speckled Red was born October 23rd in 1892. Born Rufus George Perryman, he's best noted for his recordings of The Dirty Dozens, which is exchanges of insults and vulgar remarks. Playing the dozens, or putting in the dozens, is a folk game in which two or more participants hurl insults and boasts at one another and are invariably obscene, frequently pornographic, and always aim to disparage an opponent's genealogy. Acoustic blues harmonica player Sonny Terry was born October 24th in 1911. He's noted for the exuberant whoops and hollers he worked into his blues numbers. Born in Greensboro, North Carolina, the blind harp virtuoso first recorded with Piedmont blues star Blind Boy Fuller in 1937, and did much of his best work with longtime partner Brownie McGee, who he met in 1939. He took his blues into such varied settings as Carnegie Hall, a Broadway theater, commercial television, and even classical music. Chicago blues guitar player Jimmy Dawkins was born October 24th in 1936. He was a practitioner of the West Side sound of Chicago blues, which is considered smoother and somewhat less hard-edged than the South Side style of Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. Now, Jimmy Dawkins was an unusual kind of bluesman. As a guitarist, he was intense without being dramatic. As a singer, he was expressive without shouting. As a performer, he was, by choice, not much of a showman. R&B singer and songwriter, piano player Willie Mabon was born October 24th in 1925. He moved from Memphis, Tennessee to Chicago in 1942. There, he formed the group The Blues Rockers, and in 1949 began recording for Aristocrat Records and then Chess Records. His biggest success came in 1952 when his debut solo release, I Don't Know, topped the Billboard R&B chart for 8 weeks. It was played on Alan Freed's early radio shows and also sold well to white audiences, crossing over markets at the start of the rock and roll era. Mississippi native Tommy Bankhead was born October 24th in 1931. This Delta blues guitar player and singer played with Howlin' Wolf, Sonny Boy Williamson, Elmore James, who was his cousin, Joe Willie Wilkins, Robert Nighthawk, and Joe Hill Lewis. In addition to all this, he released a few albums under his own name. In addition to guitar, he sometimes played the bass guitar and harmonica. One of the inventors of rock and roll, Wrecking Crew drummer Earl Palmer, was born October 25th in 1924. Palmer was one of the most prolific studio musicians of all time and played on thousands of recordings, including nearly all of Little Richard's hits, all of Fats Domino's hits, You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers, and a long list of classic TV and film soundtracks. According to one obituary, his list of credits read like a who's who of American pop music of the last 60 years. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or other things that happened this week in the blues, and who wouldn't, be sure to follow our social media pages or just go out and visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. Now, we'll have a brand new episode next week, and we'll include stories about Fleetwood Mac founder Peter Green and a notable day for blues and gospel legend Sippy Wallace. It's going to be a great show, so we'll see you then.